What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us on another beautiful Monday night live stream, day after the Super Bowl. Obviously, we've just got, we all know big offseason coming up, what have you. And I guess this conversation can kind of form its way into Vikings talk. Obviously, we're a Vikings channel. We talk a lot about Vikings football on here, but we do, I think we're going to spend most of tonight just kind of breaking down the game last night and talking just kind of about where Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes is 20. How old is Patrick Mahomes right now? 28?
28.
28 years old. 3 Super Bowls already. Has been to 4.
6 years.
6 years in the league. This man, this guy, love him or hate him. We'll talk. We'll get into that. Love him or hate him. The guy's amazing. And watching him play last night, I just had that feeling end of the fourth and going into overtime that they was going to find a way to win the game. But how was your Super Bowl? Did you have any good food? Did you indulge in any alcoholic beverages? How was your Super Bowl night?
First I'm gonna do some shout outs here because we got our boy Gary in the building. What up, schoolmates? We got Roger in the building. What up, Roger?
Hold on, man.
School Gary. What a Super Bowl, man. Yeah, 100%.
First half was boring. I spent more time watching golf than I did football the first half of that game.
Oh, dang. To answer your question, as far as food and stuff goes, on my end, nothing exciting. Nothing really exciting. I was just chilling at home with my wife, so we weren't really doing a lot. Drinks, I had a couple beers. Nothing crazy. I kept it pretty mellow, but yeah, nothing too crazy. But how about you, man?
Well, we had pizza, we had chips and dip, we had some cracker, we had a cracker, cheese, and meat tray. I had a couple mixies, couple of rum and cokes.
Ooh,
it was a good Super Bowl day, that's for sure. Yeah, had some cookies. It's good.
Hey, let's go. One good thing happened. Well, there's 2 things. So I had a bunch of Brock Purdy cards, and I mentioned it before on here that I had a bunch of Brock Purdy cards that I had set to sell on eBay right after the Super Bowl, banking on hoping the 49ers would win so I would get as much money possible from those cards. So I was kind of rooting for the 49ers because of that. That and then Adam in here, he convinced me to go to root for those 49ers, but obviously that didn't work out. The good thing though is I was on one Super Bowl board and ended up winning the second or halftime score, third quarter, and the final score. So won $135. So nice. It all worked out anyways, and we'll take that. We'll take that all day. But yeah, man, how about you? Did you do any boards or anything like that?
No.
You guys do any DraftKings or anything? I didn't do good on the DraftKings.
My parents did DraftKings and it did not go well. I think one of them they were both pretty far down the list there. So yeah, not a lot of gambling going on at the household. It was just my parents, my sister, and one of my buddies came over. So I don't know. We probably could have put a board together, but didn't really indulge in any gambling yesterday.
As far as the Super Bowl goes, I would say, I thought San Francisco played a really good game. I thought Brock Purdy, it wasn't like Brock Purdy was lighting the world on fire or anything, but he was making very smart plays constantly. And when he had to go down and get some points, he probably wished he could have gotten some touchdowns in that offense, could have got some touchdowns in some of these situations. But, he put them in position to score and win when they really needed to, honestly. And then I know is there a kicker, Moody? Moody, he missed that extra point. Who knows what would have happened there? But that's a big thing about it is even though and San Francisco's defense was on for 90% of this game, 95% of this game. They looked tough out there. But it's just Patrick Mahomes, and it just shows you how impressive it is. And you guys, they can't just be up by 3 points or whatever and give the ball to Patrick Mahomes. You just can't do that. And he showed why. And it shows again, how important a quarterback like that, how significant that is for a team. And it's a reason why it's obvious how important the quarterback position is, and not just the NFL, but in all sports. And that, yes, I do think a lot of people want to push it's a team sport. It definitely is a team sport, obviously, but a good quarterback can make a massive difference to whether you're a Super Bowl team or not. And it just, you take Mahomes off that Kansas City team, it doesn't matter what the other 52 people on the roster, them all together just is not going to be enough. I mean, that might not even be maybe a borderline playoff team, depending on who their quarterback is, because their defense was really solid this year. But I don't know. I
mean,
I just think the quarterback position, when I see these guys come out and ball out the way they do, and it doesn't matter what the rest of everyone else does. Patrick Mahomes starts with the ball and ends with it. So I mean, I don't know. It's just impressive, super impressive.
Absolutely.
What up,
Well,
Skull Mafia in the building? What up? What? Oh,
yeah, man. It's just, I don't know. And that's why, I mean, we'll probably get into this a little bit more later on, too. Like, when I look at quarterbacks throughout the league, man, like, Patrick Mahomes to me.
Hope you're good, Gary. By the
Patrick
way.
Mahomes to me is and this might be a hot take, but also I don't think it really is. To me, Patrick Mahomes is the only elite quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's, like if you wanted, like, the word elite, I think gets thrown around way too much. But like when you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes and everything he's accomplished in such a short span and with different variations of teams, right? I mean, he had the stacked team with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, solid running backs, and then he's had this team this year where Travis Kelce, by all intents and purposes, had a pretty down year, right? Picked it up in the playoffs, had a decent game yesterday, but he's out there. I mean, his top playmakers, Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco, were basically held to almost nothing yesterday, right?
Right.
So
Right.
even when the best players on his team aren't playing well, Patrick Mahomes just finds a way to get it done. So that's why, to me, he's the only one who I think you can consider an elite quarterback. You have those guys that are like borderline regular. I call them regular season elite. Patrick Mahomes, to me, is just head and shoulders above everybody else in the NFL, and he shows it every year. And it's absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane.
Hey, what up, Frozen North? What up? What up? Hey, we got Adam in the building too. What up, Adam? Yeah, dude, to your point, honestly, I agree. Like elite, I mean, there's really good quarterbacks, a lot of really good ones, I would say. But as far as like hitting that next level, and we talked about this before getting on, and the idea is like obviously there's not a lot of Patrick Mahomes. There's a big, I mean, he's like up there with Tom Brady, and we can kind of go into where we think he sits now in the GOAT conversation, but there isn't like a Peyton Manning to Tom Brady or even an Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady. And you could even argue, is there even a Drew Brees to like a Tom Brady? I don't know if there really is. At least no one's really proven to be that way, especially in the NFC. Like,
right.
I mean, there's not even a single player that has kind of stepped up in the NFC. I mean, I can't even think about it. Hopefully, I mean, maybe, the quarterback that we draft this year, I think he could make his way there, hopefully. But right. I don't know. So, yeah, you're right. Like, there isn't really that guy. At least we haven't seen it. Some of these guys could. Like, Burrow is still young. Who knows? Obviously, he has to deal with this injury. The second injury, season-ending injury he's already had. Justin Herbert will be interesting to see how things can change with the new coach and everything like that. And then, obviously, we saw some good things from Lamar Jackson, but he's limited. So far, he's been limited in playoffs, especially with his arm, and we'll see if anything. He's still young too, though. A lot of these guys are young, but you don't really have the guy. And another name, even though I hate to say it, is Aaron Rodgers would have been like the most recent guy that's up in that area, who's old now, and now I wouldn't say he deserves to be there anymore, but yeah, dude. I mean, 100%. Like, there's no Peyton Manning to the Tom Brady yet. It's just kind of Mahomes is sitting there by himself at the top at this point,
right?
And it'll be interesting to see if who can bring him down. I don't know if there's going to be anybody who can do it.
And you feel like there's the starts of like those Tom Brady, Peyton Manning rivalries, right? Because you have Patrick Mahomes, like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, right? Like, those are kind of considered rivalries, and throughout different courses of time, like those guys have taken down Patrick Mahomes. But because the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, did they beat the Chiefs in the AFC title game?
I think so. I believe
that year they did. So that was one year, obviously, where that happened. But like, everybody wants to put the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens up there in that elite category, and I don't think you. I mean, I would consider those guys regular season elite almost. Like borderline elite is where I'd call them. Where like if they can just get it done in the playoffs, make a Super Bowl or something like that, then you can put him in that conversation, right? Like Josh Allen just gets in his own way too much, and that team just feels like they're just missing that something. Again, I don't know if it's coaching or what it is. I mean, they're kind of in the same rut the Vikings have been in, but obviously more successful than we have playoff wise. But like they're just kind of running it back every year and hoping that eventually they just find a way to break through. But it's like that team is missing something. I just don't know what it is. But I mean, until you see a Josh Allen and Joe Burrow has made a Super Bowl, right? Like that's clear.
Right. It looked good. And
right. But every year he comes in, like the last 2 seasons, he came in and he started slow. Like they started like they this year they started what 0. I think the last 2 years they've started 0-3, and then he kind of turns it back on. This year, obviously, he had the wrist injury, but like he starts the season too slow to be considered up there in that.
Yeah, this year he did specifically, right?
Yeah,
like really this year.
Right, and then Josh Allen, regular season puts up great numbers, but playoffs can't get past the divisional round. Lamar Jackson got to his first AFC title game, and kind of completely fell apart at the end of that game, throwing that ugly interception into the back of the end zone when they needed points. So I don't know, man. Patrick Mahomes is otherworldly, and it's kind of scary to sit here and talk about that. Guy.
Luckily, he's in the AFC. I'm glad he's like. I'm not gonna really. I don't mind him. Like I like to watch great quarterbacks or like great athletes do their thing as long as they don't piss me off. And unless we make a Super Bowl and we lose to the Chiefs, as far me and we never did that with Tom Brady. I was cool with Tom Brady. Like we're good here. But if we go to the Super Bowl and we lose to the Chiefs, I'm gonna
Tom Brady or something.
So yeah, I mean regular season, which honestly, actually before I'm gonna keep going in here, of course we got some hashtag skulls in here. I see him. Another show, another Ivan Pace rookie card giveaway. We dropped a video today that I've been talking about on here for the last couple of weeks. We put our hearts and souls into that thing. I don't know, probably too much, but everybody in here, if you guys could go over there and check that video out, like it, watch through it, and then even if you don't like it, still come back and say you did. Yeah, we appreciate you, Skull Mafia. We already have Skull Mafia who watched it. Yeah, everybody, we appreciate it big time. And that's the reason why we're actually going to give away 2 Ivan Pace Jr. rookie cards for this video. 2 Ivan Pace Jr. rookie cards. Because after this, I mean, I'll be gone for like a week and a half or whatever. So, but definitely go check it out. Be appreciated big time. Yes, let's go, Gary. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, by the way, Adam. Yeah, dude, that was tough. That extra point was tough. But overall, we were talking about it earlier, and the San Francisco played a good game. Brock Purdy played a really good game. Like when people were coming out and saying like Kirk Cousins would have won with them, I'm just like, shut up. No. How can you even say that? Like Kirk Cousins, what Brock Purdy did well in that game is what Kirk Cousins is known to do bad at. So that threw me off. I don't know about that. Frozen North, because of Mahomes and the Chiefs, all those other AFC teams, our quarterbacks are watching the years go by and not even getting a chance to taste the Super Bowl. Right. Yeah. I'm glad we're in the NFC. The GOATs are always in the AFC, I guess. One thing I want to say, I was going to say, that's one thing about it is it just, when you see Patrick Mahomes do what he does, it just makes you feel like the regular season just seems not pointless. It's definitely not pointless, but it's kind of like he could have the worst record and then sneak into playoffs. And this is something I always felt about even like LeBron and Steph Curry and stuff like that in basketball, is as long as they can make playoffs, they can go win a championship. And that's what it is with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, this was an off year for the Kansas City Chiefs after winning the Super Bowl last year, going into the playoffs, like they weren't the favorite to win the Super Bowl. And then they just come and just do it. And honestly, this game was as close as it got for them, but it just still felt like, man, don't give him enough time. Just do not give him enough time. And they did. And obviously at the end of the fourth, and then obviously, they only scored the 3 points, and then Kansas City was able to have the ball, which I didn't actually realize. I think I remember hearing about it now, but I forgot that the whole touchdown thing, if they score a touchdown even, right. Kansas City would have another chance. Right.
Which obviously that was a big topic of conversation last night as well, to like what the correct call is there. And obviously I believe you had mentioned how long that 49ers defense is on the field. I think that was kind of part of the rationale Shanahan gave as to why they decided to take the ball, right, let the defense rest a little bit. But I mean, it does make the most sense to take it second. Because then if you take it first and you got a 4th and whatever in field goal range,
yeah, I know.
You're probably kicking the field goal, right? And then you get the ball back on offense. You're like, well, either we can at that point, you know what you need, right? If the other team scores a touchdown, you know you need to go all out and try to score a touchdown. If they kick a field goal, you can be a little more cautious, which obviously Patrick Mahomes and cautious isn't, those two words don't go in the same sentence. But the thing is, like, how do you their defense against Patrick Mahomes? Like, how do you defend him, right? Because you can't play off, because then he's just gonna beat you underneath, right? And if you get too aggressive, he's gonna beat you over the top.
Like when that dude needs a first down, he becomes one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the league.
Right. Well, yeah. He had that big run on third down last night too. Yeah. Like, it's just like, how do you it's so tough to defend him, because no matter what you do, he's gonna find an answer to beat you, because he's just that good. So I don't know. Like, I understand, I guess, Chiefs fatigue, right? I mean, it happens all the time. The Chiefs, for a while there, with at the first Super Bowl under Mahomes, they were that fresh, that new team where it's like, thank God a new team is winning a Super Bowl, right? And now they're at that point where it's like, okay, somebody else can win now. But in the back of your mind, when you watch him play, like, you just you have to tell yourself, like, you're watching. I'm gonna say it. You're watching the future greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Like, I don't think he
switched the GOAT conversation.
I don't think he will even need to have as many Super Bowls as Brady. I just think he's gonna pass him up by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, I do think he's gonna need definitely more, for sure, right? I mean, he has 3 in the last, we already said it. He had 3, or this is his 3rd Super Bowl in 6 years as a starter. This has been to 4 Super Bowls. If he wins one next year, it'd be the first team ever to win 3 in a row. This conversation, obviously, to me, Tom Brady is still easily the number 1 quarterback. 7 Super Bowls. I think for Mahomes to kind of reach him and be competitive, I think he would need 5. And that's only because Patrick Mahomes, from a talent wise, I think Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT as far as most physically gifted quarterback of all time. He gets that, I think, for sure, over Brady, for sure, physically gifted. So, I mean, it really just comes down to championships and being, winning. That's the most important stat, I think, even for quarterbacks, even though everyone's going to say winning's not a quarterback stats, whatever. It obviously is. Otherwise, Tom Brady wouldn't easily be the GOAT. So I don't know. I think Tom Brady is definitely still the GOAT. And it is always going to be the thing that Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So there's always going to be that. But after that, so in my head, I'm thinking Tom Brady won. I think this Super Bowl would make Mahomes number 2. And then I think most people, and I didn't get to watch him personally, but most people would say Joe Montana number 3. And then I don't really know who I would have as the 4 and 5. I know you'd have some Peyton Manning, some Dan Marino, maybe some Elway in there. I probably would actually say Peyton Manning would be my number 4.
By the way, what a freaking John Elway had to have been miserable yesterday, having to carry the Super Bowl trophy, one of the guys carrying it up to the Chiefs. That had to have been an absolutely miserable experience.
See, the rings ain't a quarterback stat, but then A-Rod would have 45 rings if defense was good. I don't know. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has his best receiver was a 3rd-round rookie who's Rashee Rice, who basically didn't get any. Obviously, you have to have a good defense too.
Well, that Chiefs defense this year was
pretty good,
was dynamite. The best he's seen since he's been there.
Yeah, probably. And he has 3 Super Bowls, and you need more than that. But I think Patrick Mahomes is showing you he doesn't have a lot of receivers. I mean, how many receivers did Tom Brady have? They've both had good tight ends, but I don't know. So.
Well, but the thing with Brady and Mahomes to an extent too is they took average receivers and turned them into Julian Edelman. He wasn't going to be anything anywhere else, right? But Tom Brady made Julian Edelman into one of the greatest playoff receivers that I can remember obviously, again, younger football watching life for me, but right. Julian Edelman is one of those guys. He was I don't think he's going to make it, but when he retired, there was questions will he make it to the Hall of Fame because of how well he played in the playoffs because of Tom Brady, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm I don't think I would I think championships is a quarterback stat to some extent. Obviously, you have to have a good enough defense. You can't just get totally crapped on, or so you need other pieces. It's not like, these teams are going to have just nothing, but no playoff teams has nothing. There's a difference. You're talking about once you make playoffs, you're playing with other teams that also have good defenses and also have offensive weapons. So at that point, the difference is the quarterback. Even with Aaron Rodgers, like it wasn't there was other teams that didn't have the best defenses that have made it further than the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I mean, because you look like last night, like Brock Purdy just couldn't make that play. He couldn't make the play to seal the game, which he missed. He missed an easy missed a wide open receiver at the end of the end of was that overtime or the fourth quarter? But like, I don't know, man. Like it's just like you can tell that there's an obvious difference between like levels of quarterbacks, and I think you are right. Like where Mahomes is just. I don't know, man. Mahomes is just special, and it's insane.
Yeah, and again, I do not think Kirk Cousins wins. Like all the stuff with Kirk Cousins. What was another thing someone said today was, I forgot what it was.
Was it the Paul Charchian, the money deal or whatever? Was it
with
that
Kirk
one?
Cousins?
Yeah,
no, it was. I mean, even the whole Tom Brady thing, you saw that, right? I know Rap saw that for sure because Dave posted it, and I think it was in Rap in his video that he released today. Even the Brady thing, like they're talking about, like you need your quarterback to sit behind a player or whatever, and then everybody's talking about Kirk Cousins, and I'm like, who's? First off, Tom Brady never said Kirk Cousins, and Tom Brady also didn't say you pay a 36-year-old quarterback $40 million a year, whatever. You're not paying someone top dollar. I don't think Tom Brady's like, hey, you should have a guy like Kirk Cousins to have a player sitting behind. He never said that. It could be any player. It could be a player that's on a better contract. He's just saying that you shouldn't have a rookie come out right away. But I'm just a lot of the Kirk Cousins stuff, like Kirk Cousins on the Chiefs. I definitely say no with Kirk Cousins on the Chiefs, but Kirk Cousins on the 49ers. Again, I already said this, but I do not know how people would say that when Kirk Cousins literally had 1 year where he actually was winning, like coming from behind games, or at least like be considered somewhat clutch. The 2022-2023 season was like the first time Kirk Cousins was ever considered clutch. Otherwise, his whole career has been considered unclutch. So I don't know. I just, to think that Kirk Cousins could go in the brightest light possible in probably all of sports and just take any team and win a Super Bowl would be surprising to me, because I've not seen him do that in like round one of playoffs. So I don't know.
And there you have it. Unprompted Kirk Cousins talk. You'll never get away from that on any sort of, even after he's gone.
Comparing people. That's what it is. Comparing Kirk Cousins to Mahomes. Someone was comparing him to Mahomes or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure that was Paul Charchian, where he's like that they won a Super Bowl with like a top 10 paid quarterback or something like that, where a lot of people say you just can't do it, which.
No, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. And someone said something right under it. Like you're not comparing. I don't know, but you can't be comparing Kirk Cousins to Mahomes. Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback. You started with this conversation saying like there's not really an elite quarterback close to Mahomes besides him, and then you got the other tier of guys like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Like Kirk Cousins is an easy spot below him. I think Kirk Cousins would have won MVP if he didn't get hurt. See, I don't believe that. Kirk Cousins was 3-4 before he got hurt. To me, I don't know.
Again, I'm going to bring that up. That's an ignorant.
Yeah, but you're going to talk MVP.
You're not looking at the upward trajectory of the way the season was going at that point.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean. I mean, that happens all the time. I've seen Kirk Cousins constantly throughout his whole career.
Yeah, but you can't. I'm going to stop you there because that's a moot point, because you can't say it one way or the other because he got hurt, so we never know how the rest of the season would have gone had he been in
on
there.
Both ways. It could be both ways.
Exactly. I never said the other way. I'm just saying it's ignorant. It's ignorant to sit here and be like, he was 3-4, man. He didn't have a very good season
I didn't say it. I'm saying
there's no what was going to happen. Absolutely not. But
there's a difference between an MVP season
trajectory heading upward.
There's a difference between an MVP season and not a good season. Like saying that a 3-4 quarterback who Kirk Cousins had,
right, but I mean,
had
but the thing is, no, but the thing is, had we gone on a run,
and that's what it is,
he would have been in the conversation.
He had the stats, but prior to those last 2 games, I mean, he wasn't doing anything that it wasn't obvious. Kirk Cousins was the reason why we should have been winning games in the when we started 1-4. Like he wasn't the difference. He was still having his mid-game lulls. He was still having, which I mean, again, I mean,
how you finish.
Huh?
It's not about how you start, but how you finish.
Yeah,
we never got to see the finish.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, exactly. So I just don't know how. To me, I don't think you just got MVP. But another thing is, who cares about MVP? Who cares? I don't care about MVP. That doesn't mean
a lot of the Lamar Jackson's defenders would be the MVP man. He's a 2-time MVP.
Still,
I've heard you say that as well.
He maybe would have. I mean, Lamar Jackson has gotten 2 MVPs now. Kirk Cousins has 0. But
show me that ring, Lamar. Show me the AFC Championship game, Lamar. Where's your?
I mean, Kirk Cousins has only made it past round one time. One time.
I am not the one out here comparing Kirk to Lamar. I'm just the one out here saying Lamar ain't elite.
You brought it up.
And Josh Allen ain't elite.
You brought it up.
Joe Burrow ain't elite.
No, I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. I think it's crazy to act like Kirk Cousins would have ended up winning MVP. Maybe it would have been cool if he did, but there's no, like, if you look throughout his whole career and everything like that, it wasn't like he was just going to win MVP. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe, but it doesn't matter if he did. I wouldn't care. Like, if he won MVP, like, it'd be awesome if he did, but I would give 2 shits less. Like, same with Lamar Jackson and anybody who can. Like, I don't think the Ravens give a shit that he won MVP.
Oh no, obviously not.
Because Kirk Cousins has never shown to do anything in playoffs. I mean, he looked good last year, and other than when it mattered the most. So I don't know. Comparing Kirk Cousins up there with Patrick Mahomes, which is people keep doing, was crazy to me. And then saying that he could go in there, if he was in there instead of Brock Purdy, that he would have won them the Super Bowl, when Kirk Cousins has yet to show that he can win, like go down or be a clutch player in the brightest spotlight spot. He just hasn't showed that through his whole career, and he's 36 years old. It just doesn't make any sense to me. 4th and 8, never forget. I just like 4th and 8. Like, he had a great game, but you can't tell me that 4th and 8 and he decides to make that decision, and you just think, oh, he's never going to make any of those decisions when he's in the Super Bowl. I don't know. Throws me off. But anyways, enough about Kirk Cousins, because this was talking about Patrick Mahomes, even though some people would put him, there's some people out there, you'd say elite quarterbacks and be like, oh, well, Kirk Cousins, he could be up there with them probably.
See, I think calling someone top 10 to 12 is way different than, to me, saying someone's a top 10 to 12 is way different than saying elite. Because I think elite is a word that's just, elite is a word that's just thrown around, and I think it's a little bit overused now. Like, it needs to mean, it doesn't mean what it used to mean, and I think it needs to go back to meaning what it used to mean. And again, I'll say it, that Patrick Mahomes right now is the only elite quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Elite. And look, I'm more of a Kirk fan. I'm more of a Kirk fan than not, but I'm putting him. I think he's in that category with a Brock Purdy, that very good, right? But will they ever be great? / they need pieces around them to make them successful, right? Like, that's kind of where I'm at with him, and where I'd rank him in a quarterback like hierarchy spot. And like, I thought, again, Brock Purdy last night, I thought he looked pretty good. Like, the thing with Brock Purdy is his, like, and I think they brought it up multiple times, they brought it up through the playoffs, is his spatial awareness is amazing, and his ability to step up into the pocket and roll out when he has to is solid. And all of his throws that weren't that great yesterday were, he didn't have time. He got pressured up the middle and needed to get rid of the football, and there was no room for him to move. So, well,
even that was like one of the most impressive things I've seen out of him in this game, was, even though it was a dump off pass, was his little dump off to Christian McCaffrey I think that was in overtime, right? That little dump off. That's when he had the pressure in his face, and I don't know, he just was so cool under that pressure and was able to get it off to Christian McCaffrey, who took it for like 20 yards or whatever. And that was impressive. I mean, the thing with Brock Purdy is he plays his best when it matters the most. He might not be the most physical gifted guy. He can do everything you want from your quarterback, but he definitely stepped and he's a young quarterback. So to see what he did in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes was crazy. He put the 49ers in position to win. Again, he tried to get a touchdown, but.
And I honestly think this would have been his second year. Had he not got hurt in the championship game last year, I think this would have been his second straight year playing in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So, and again,
who knows how he'll be for sure. He does have he's an example of someone who does have a really good team around him. But there's no question. Like if you're better in the most important parts of the game, then that's an incredible attribute to have as a quarterback. I think it's literally the most important thing you can have as a quarterback is to be able to play at your best when you need to. And it's like this is for if you need this to win the game. Like it's time to go down the field and win, and you're cool and collective and you go and do that. That is the most important stat. Like when you talk about elite quarterbacks and you're talking about the Josh Allens and you're talking about the Lamar Jacksons and you're talking about all these guys, the thing that separates Patrick Mahomes from all those quarterbacks is kind of like that mindset. That's easily the thing that separated Tom Brady, who is not the most physically gifted guy. He had a nice arm, but obviously smart. And very smart. But his biggest attribute is when it mattered the most. That dude laid it out there. He was clutch. Stone cold nerves, man.
And for people, I mean, I know.
What up, Zoe?
Let's go on, Zoe. I know everybody was talking about like a lot of holding calls in that game last night that weren't called on the Chiefs, but like I actually think when it came, like I thought the refs allowed them to like just kind of play the game, which I thought was nice. Not a lot of like ticky tacky calls, but like I think it's pretty obvious that the 49ers probably got a little more preferential ref treatment than the Chiefs did. So you can't like there's really not even that excuse.
No,
for the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I just think they when they kicked the field goal in the fourth and kicked the field goal in that first drive in overtime, my mindset was, I mean, in the overtime one, like Mahomes just has to get to the 40 or 35 of the other team's yard line with how good of a kicker Harrison Butker is. So it's like, like that was just dumb. It's like you kicked the field goal, fine, I get it. The drive stalled, but I had no doubt in my mind that game was either going to overtime or the Chiefs were going to win it in regulation. And then when the field goal was kicked in overtime, I'm just like, well, that's it. The Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, I guess, because it's just Patrick Mahomes when he knows like we just need to score to win. You ain't stopping. Yeah. And they tried switching up some defensive stuff on him, and it's just he beats any type of defense there is. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And that's what's impressive about this game. Like you said, like there's definitely no like the refs are on Kansas City's side, and the thing is San Francisco was beating him most of the time. Like it literally was just Patrick Mahomes stepping up when he had to. That whole game was just Patrick Mahomes stepping up when he needed to. Like every time they scored, it was just like they needed to go get points right now. And then he did that. And then all of a sudden they had like a bunch of 3-and-outs and they weren't able to move the ball because San Francisco's defense was just on one for like a majority of this game. But it just is what it is. Like you're just like, it's Patrick Mahomes. And then again, he just shows you. And it's just so, I don't know. It's just not surprising. Like he's just that good. It's just not surprising, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then in the first, like there was some squandered opportunities by the Niners. Obviously they had the nice drive to start the game. Christian McCaffrey, who rarely ever fumbled the ball. And then while the Chiefs offense was struggling at most for a majority of the first half, the Niners offense just couldn't do anything. And that's a testament to that Chiefs defense. Like if we keep this team, if we limit them to field goals, I mean, the one touchdown they got, like eventually on the other side of the ball, we have the best football and we're the best quarterback in football. He's going to figure it out. So all you have to do is limit this Niners offense. And I mean, the Niners offense or the Niners team in general just was absolutely ravaged by injuries last night. I mean, Greenlaw popping his Achilles, running off the sideline. Debo wasn't 100%. And then, who else went down? One of their Feliciano, their offensive lineman went out. Like one of their other safeties went out. They were absolutely just decimated by injuries last night.
Yeah.
At unfortunate times, but I don't know. You let the Chiefs hang around, and Patrick Mahomes just does what Patrick Mahomes does. If you let him hang around like that,
exactly. That's what's tough, dude. And that's what kind of stinks for any 49ers fans because it's like it was Patrick. You guys didn't lose. Patrick Mahomes won, and that I do say Patrick Mahomes. Like you can't even tell me that it's just not Patrick. Patrick Mahomes won that game. I mean, Brock Purdy, when he needed to go down, he went down and scored points. Yes, you could say that in the red zone, Kansas City's defense stepped up, but they still allowed him to come down and score points. That's why, I mean, and Patrick Mahomes, like, running for first downs when they absolutely need it. That had nothing to do with another single player on that team. So I don't know. I just think the quarterback position is, I think people pick and choose. Like Kirk Cousins, people who are on Kirk Cousins, they definitely pick and choose. If Kirk Cousins does really good, it's definitely, it's all Kirk Cousins. And then if he does bad, it's the rest of the team. There's a lot of players that do that instead of just being like, Kirk Cousins is just an above average quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. And that's just what it is.
I mean, I think it's more fair to be like, he's in every successful season he's had here, he's had elite weapons. I mean, I guess, yeah,
I would say so. On offense.
Yeah, there I am throwing around the word elite again. I don't know if I'd call Diggs like an elite receiver when he was here, but he was very, very good. And then Adam Thielen was solid. And then now
very good.
He does have an elite receiver in Jefferson, which he's had for the last couple of seasons. So
yeah.
And that's the thing. Kirk Cousins is a quarterback that with the right talent around him, he can be very, very good. Does that mean great? Absolutely not. But he can be very good with the right talent around him. You can't say that with every quarterback. But again, as we saw last night, Brock Purdy played very well. He has very good talent around him. But guess what? It wasn't enough to get you to the Super Bowl. And you want to talk about a guy who a lot of people call, he's called it himself. Alex Smith has called himself like the leader of the game managing quarterback party, and I saw a tweet today that was, the Chiefs were making the playoffs year after year after year after year with an Alex Smith type, who you look at Alex Smith and he's very comparable to Kirk. I think Kirk has a better arm and all that, but Alex Smith was one of those guys, like he wins football games. He's very good, but he can't get you over the hump. And what did they do? Right. They decided to draft a guy. He sat for a year because, learn the NFL game, watch Alex Smith, a pro's pro, run the offense, came in the next year, he's off running. But that was a team that said, hey, we have a very good quarterback in Alex Smith. Yeah, well, guess what? It ain't getting us over the hump. So we need to find a great quarterback. So that's why I see both sides of the argument. Like I think Kirk Cousins is a guy that'll keep, and Brock Purdy, another one, keep a guy that'll put you right here. But until they prove it to you, will they ever get you over that hump? Yeah. I don't know. So the 49ers, they have a very interesting question to ask themselves. Like, can we keep this elite team around Brock Purdy? And is he going to be the guy that gets us there? Is he going to be the guy that beats Mahomes one of these years? I don't really know.
Yeah, which I would say, he didn't, again, they didn't lose because of him. Like, it'd have been different if he just had a bad game, but I thought he did good. Obviously,
I thought he played
obviously it'd be different if you had oh, yeah. Dude, he did fine. He showed up when he needed to. He made some nice throws. He did. I mean, it wasn't like you're not seeing some, gunslinger out there, I guess, and that does matter, but you're still stepping up when it matters most. I think that's the most important thing. And that's a big thing. People with Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins can make all the throws you want and all that good stuff, but it's just when it matters most, he doesn't step up. And that's the big difference. But I wanted to bring one thing back. Actually, before I do that, again, everybody, another show, another Ivan Pace rookie card giveaway. We're going to give away two of them to two separate people in this show. So put the hashtags, go in the comments, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We dropped a Ivan Pace Jr. video that we worked really hard on. So if anybody in here hasn't seen it yet, you guys should definitely go check it out, like it, all that good stuff, watch through it. And like I said before, even if you didn't like it anyways, and don't tell us that you didn't like it. But yeah, definitely go check it out. I'm going to actually drop, hey, what up, School for Life Barber? I'm going to drop the link in here. You guys can go check it out now, can check it out afterwards, whatever you'll have time. One thing though is we're back to the Tom Brady thing and him saying you want your quarterback to play behind someone else, and you're bringing up Alex Smith. And I do think it is, if we did have Kirk Cousins on contract and we drafted a quarterback, I do think that would be the best thing for a young quarterback, is to have someone like Kirk Cousins above him. But that's a huge difference. Then the unfortunate thing is we're in a spot where we have to re-sign Kirk Cousins. It'd have been great if we drafted a quarterback last year, but to go and pay and re-sign a quarterback and pay him, unless he's going to take a really good deal, pay him all that extra money, that part doesn't make tons of sense to me,
See, go ahead, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, that's the big difference between what Tom Brady and stuff says is when Tom Brady's talking about he's probably definitely talking about a quarterback that's on a contract right now and things like that. I don't know, if you're not going to go and draft a rookie and then go pay $40 to $45 million to a quarterback unless it's for like 1 year deal. I'd feel like.
Yeah.
What
See,
up, Dylan?
Tom Brady came into the league in a totally different deal where they had just signed Drew Bledsoe to a bunch of money.
So what up?
Brady came in. Then Brady came in as a 6th round pick, and obviously Bledsoe had the injury. Brady took over, and kind of the rest is history there. But like, I see what Tom Brady means, though. And I don't think it's not that's the thing. It's not necessarily you need a quarterback like a Kirk Cousins to be there. I think it's more of the thought process of you. I mean, because there's a lot of guys. If you're picking 1 or 2, and maybe even, but if you're picking 1 or 2, probably and for sure 1, and you're taking that guy, like he's going to come in and be your starter. Like that's the reason you're taking him number 1, because you need that immediate impact player, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think what Brady is getting at there, and it's not necessarily having a starting caliber guy, like a top tier starting caliber guy, and having your guy sit behind him. It's more of you bring in a rookie, and there's if you don't feel like through camp this guy's ready to go day 1, you don't need to put the pressure on him. Like you need to be our guy, and you need to be out there week 1. Like, you can bring in a Gardner Minshew or a Baker Mayfield if you can get him on a relatively reasonable deal. And it's just one of those things where you bring in a rookie, and it's like there's not that impending pressure. Like this guy needs to play week 1. He can sit, he can learn the offense. If you feel he's ready halfway through the season, you make the move. If you feel like, hey, we brought in this guy just so we don't need to pressure our guy, but he is really showing up in camp. Like look at Russell Wilson. Comes in as a 3rd round pick. They signed Matt Flynn, and through training camp, it's like, well, then get to the preseason. Russell Wilson shows out. Guess what? Russell Wilson wasn't pressured into being the guy, but he was able to show what he could do. Yeah, and he was the guy. So I think that's more of what Brady's getting at, having a guy so you don't need to. Your quarterback doesn't need to start week 1. If he's ready, great. Sure. If he's not, take half the season, take the full season.
And honestly,
after I believe that's kind of what more of what Brady's. And I honestly. And what I know some people don't agree. I 100% agree with that. I think it'd be dumb of us to not bring in another veteran quarterback if we take a high rookie.
Oh yeah,
I like Mullins, but I'd rather see somebody else in there.
Yeah, I'd rather see someone else than Mullins. I like it. I like Mullins as a person, and I like a lot of things about Mullins, but you can't be throwing 4 interceptions. Like that's one thing about it. Like I know people. I know there's a lot of. I saw it where there's a lot of people who were like, it was obvious you can't have Mullins as your starting quarterback. But then he goes off and he starts tearing up, and I get it. Like I like him. He's a good guy, and all that kind of stuff. And then it pulls some heartstrings, and all of a sudden people are like, let's keep Mullins around. I mean, and
I'm fine with Mullins as a backup. Like if we
as a backup for a couple games.
Like if we have if going into next year we have veteran quarterback signee, rookie quarterback Nick Mullins, and then eventually veteran quarterback walks, and you're left with rookie quarterback for 2nd year quarterback who's now your starter, and Mullins behind him, 100% cool with that. 100% cool. But yeah, but I mean, if I don't know, I like the idea of having a more consistent quarterback in front of your rookie. So that, because this team still does want to remain competitive. Like that's in the cards. We know that. So like, I think they're going to want to bring in a better option that can keep them competitive while their young quarterback sits and actually learns the game from someone who can start in this league at a consistent level.
And I would honestly say, like, I think every single quarterback, I don't care if you're a 1st round, I don't care if you're Caleb Williams. I think every quarterback probably would be better if they sat for a year. Like, even if you were ready, like, obviously you shouldn't if he's the best quarterback on the roster and it's obvious that he's ready or something like that. But if he did sit for a year and he was able to sit and learn the offense and everything, like, that's gotta be really helpful for anyone before you go to the game. But there's some guys that just there's some people out there that are, they're just up for the task or whatever. But I think every quarterback probably would be better with that. People hate. See, I'm not like I'm not a big Sam Darnold guy or anything like that. But in comparison to Mullins, I easily would rather have Darnold. Right? Yeah, because I mean, he's got a lot more starting experience. At least you got the experience and all that kind of stuff.
Right? Yeah.
Personally, I don't really give a shit as long as we have somebody that is, I would like someone that can actually, I would prefer a guy that has starting experience, like a decent amount of starting experience, but I don't really care who the bridge quarterback is. As long as you go grab a rookie quarterback and that is your plan for the future, who cares who the other quarterback is? I don't really give a shit. As long as if he has starting experience, at least he's going to be able to help your rookie prep for games when he does take over, to be able to prep for games and know what, and be able to have actual real experience with what it's like to start in the NFL. That's like the big difference with some of these quarterbacks some people want. Now, I'd even say Tyler Huntley, who doesn't have tons of starting experience. He has some, but he's never been like a real starter in the NFL. That's a big difference. If you're going to bring a rookie quarterback in, it'd be nice for him to talk to someone that knows what it's like to be a legit starter in this league, Right. So that's kind of what I look at when I talk about a bridge quarterback.
Well, right. And I mean, Sarah, I'm going to disagree with you on this comment a little bit here. It's like, I don't want a new bridge quarterback. I've learned this as many ways, so it's pointless. Well, here's the thing. If they don't view Mullins as a chance to stay competitive, right, and you bring in a Gardner Minshew, I mean, I like Gardner Minshew. You bring in a Baker Mayfield. They come in, they learn the offense. You still have Nick Mullins. So Nick Mullins is the guy out there who's going to be the one teaching this new quarterback the ropes, because they're sitting on the bench looking at the iPads, watching the game. So, like, in that regard, you're bringing in that other guy to start and compete. Well, at the same time, Nick Mullins is going to be the one there, like, running your young quarterback through the offense. And I think Nick Mullins is very good at that. And Zoe, on your comment, not at all, Houston would be crazy to sit CJ.
100%
when they brought CJ Stroud in, he was going to be their starter already. So like people viewed CJ Stroud as a guy who was ready to come into the league and start day one. So that's kind of a different scenario. Like, if they bring in a Jaden Daniels and like, hey, this guy, I feel like he's a little raw and he needs some work, then you sit him behind a veteran.
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with having a guy like a veteran or someone that can teach a rookie the ropes. Like Nick Mullins,
Nick Mullins could do that from the bench.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But he doesn't, like, Nick Mullins has limited experience as a starting quarterback. How much is he going to teach you? Like, you might come in and already be better than him, and in one season, you'll already start more games than he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, like, I think it's way better to have a veteran. Like, if you want a bridge, I think the best thing you could get from a bridge quarterback is literally someone that can mentor your rookie and actually teach him what it's like to start in the NFL. Like, that's a big difference. That's what I look at anyways. Like, I don't think you bring in some guy who's barely started, or like Nick Mullins, who's barely started, and he's going to have some stuff he can teach him, but it's a big difference. Like, Kirk Cousins being around would be huge for a rookie, in my opinion. I don't think it should cost, over 30 million or whatever, but still.
I like the Tyrod idea.
I would do that. Tyrod has some decent experience starting in the NFL. Like, he can go, he knows what it's like to do it, like,
absolutely. And Tyrod would be a perfect, because I mean, I think at this point, that's kind of what's like when you're Tyrod Taylor, you're just finding any team that you can stick with for a year, just so you stay in the league for a little bit longer. So
yeah, that's the thing I like Tyler Huntley, but I'm just like, like exactly what Sarah said here. So Huntley won't want to come here because he knows he's a bridge quarterback. Exactly. Like, Huntley, if you want Huntley, like, the idea is you're hoping that he can be something still, which he's shown flashes, whatever. But I don't think you bring him in and you bring him in to compete against a guy that has promise and compete against your rookie. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. A guy who doesn't have tons of experience. Jake Browning.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, he looked good, but I don't know. Even though he looked good, I think there's something about him, like us already having him and us giving him away, and then I don't know. It's just like, is he gonna come here and actually be what we saw from Cincy? Maybe it would be good if he was, but I doubt it. Also, I wanted to hit on Zoe's thing from way up here. I don't know where it's at, but he mentioned the running back thing, and he is right. I do think we got to figure out something. But that's the thing. When you watch Christian McCaffrey, you get the idea, like, you shouldn't pay running backs and all that kind of stuff. But then you're like, but you see how valuable they really can be. Like a really good, and we've seen it with Adrian Peterson, a really good running back can be the second most important person on your team besides your quarterback sometimes, a lot of times. What up, Kofi? What up, dude? It's been a bit.
But it's also that Shanahan West Coast style of offense. Like, if you're going to be if you're going to be a drop back passing offense, which obviously the Vikings have shown that's the direction they want to go. Then I think that does kind of take. But I mean, again, if you want to be a successful drop back passing offense, you do still need to be able to run the football a little bit. But I mean, but again, like, the difference, like, I know everyone's seeing like, oh, Saquon Barkley could be an option, but they're estimating his market value is $6 million. Yeah, I'm taking him for $6 million if you can get him. The thing I didn't like about Delvin was we were paying him $14 million a year.
Right.
Taking a pay cut down to $7.
I'll take Saquon for $6 million. Yeah, I didn't
that
know.
it was on Twitter. Who knows if it's true?
Yeah.
I saw that somewhere.
I
That
assume that
they're
he's going to be trying to get more than 10 million, and I'm
yeah,
just
but
like,
then
go
again,
draft the
people
guy.
aren't paying running backs, and he didn't have a great season last
Yeah.
year. People are going to hold that against him, I
Right.
think.
I would take Saquon for 6 mil.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pay him any more than 10. Like,
No.
I'm out on paying running backs. I really
Yeah,
am.
and I honestly, and there is like every year, there's just so many rookie running backs that come in and look good lately. And there's a levels to it, though. Obviously, like a Christian McCaffrey is way different than I'm trying to think of an example of a rookie that came in this year. Even a Chan for
Jahmyr Gibbs.
But he's a good one for sure. But yeah, even a Christian McCaffrey to Jahmyr Gibbs, like that's a big difference. Like there's levels to that.
Too evil.
But there's a lot of what up, Too Evil? There's a lot of good running backs that you're grabbing in like the 3rd round or the 4th. Like Pacheco, I think he's a 5th rounder a year ago, and that dude's a stud. Hey, what up, Norris?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's. Well, wasn't he lower than that? I thought he was like a 7th round pick or something.
Yeah, he might have been 6th, 7th. He might have even been lower than that. So I mean, it's definitely what up, Warlord of Art. What up?
Oh, man.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, I think I'm on team like go try to draft a running back. If we used one of our 4th round picks this year on a running back, and especially if we used other picks or defense stuff, I'd be fine with that. And then I do like Ty Chandler, and you still got what you have in him. You got speed out of him. Go watch Jonathan Brooks.
Weren't we talking about him recently?
I think so. Yeah. I gotta still we gotta work on a lot of these guys. Once we get closer to the combine, we'll really start diving in. But yeah, we're definitely gonna do a deep look at these running backs because I want to grab one. I like Ty Chandler a lot. You got the speed from him. You got agility from him. There's a lot of good things out of him. But I still think we should take a chance at another running back.
I agree.
And I think that's the way I would want to go instead of paying money. I just, like you said, it's different if you had a Kyle Shanahan type of offense, but we don't. We do have a drop back quarterback, wide receiver type of receiving offense, and it doesn't really make sense to pay a lot for a running back if that's going to be the point. So I think your best bet is to kind of do the thing where you try to hope to grab someone good from as a rookie, and you still have Ty Chandler. So
I mean, unless you can get a steal of a deal for a guy like Saquon at 6.
If you got $6 million for Barkley, is worth it.
Yeah,
for the amount of money per like how much he can impact the team. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I do think just with the name value and how good he can be, I do think he's going to get a little bit more than just that $6 million. So
yeah, my guess. My guess is like 10. That's crazy if you only got 6. But yeah, I'll take him. Hey, $6 million for a running back for the type of impact that could have.
Yeah, and no rap. If you're watching this, it's totally different than when we had Delvin. It's not the same. Don't try to tell me it's the same. It's not the same.
Hey guys, again,
$8 million savings from where Delvin was.
We're giving away 2 Ivan Pace Jr. rookie cards in this show. Get those hashtag skulls in here. Get the likes, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've said it already, and I'm gonna say it again. We dropped a Ivan Pace Jr. video that we worked really hard on. So if you guys after this show, you should definitely go check it out. Like the video, watch through it because it helps the algorithm. And then, come back and tell us you liked it, whether you did or not. That's it. So we appreciate y'all big time if you go and check out that video because we did put a lot into it. We made it kind of funny. I don't know, maybe too funny. Maybe we were pushing some lines there. Who knows? Who gives a shit? But we did work a lot on it. We learned a lot on it. Learn from Joe. He has a Super Bowl.
That's definitely a good point. Learn how to be the professional, perform in the playoffs. Well, not this last year, but the year he won the Super Bowl.
Right, it'd be nice if we could get a veteran who's won a Super Bowl before.
Yeah, Joe Flacco. There you go.
Joe Flacco. It would be nice. See, that's exactly like Joe Flacco would be a great bridge quarterback. Like he knows everything. He's had success in playoffs. Like that's a really good one. Honestly, that's what they should do because your plan isn't for this guy to be like your starter for the future. Like who cares who your bridge quarterback is? Obviously, you don't really want to suck, and that's fair.
Right.
But still,
right? You bring him in, like again, you bring him in so that
I wouldn't hate Wentz. Wentz has playoff experience too.
True, yeah.
Like I think Wentz definitely could be a good bridge quarterback.
Right, but I mean that's the thing. You bring in the vet so that so your rookie quarterback isn't pressured into starting, and he can start whenever he's ready, whether that be week 1, week 6, week 17
When
or
that's
week one of the following season. Like that's the whole point of the bringing in a veteran quarterback. Some people think you're bringing in that veteran quarterback and you're planning, well, you're starting him all year one and your rookie sits. Like not necessarily. He's here until your rookie's ready to go, and that could be at any point.
Did Wentz not? Maybe he didn't play playoffs because he got injured right before those playoffs, right?
Yeah. He didn't. No, he got injured. Like
he played. He didn't play in another playoffs.
I don't think
Maybe
so.
He didn't.
He got injured week 16, and then remember week 15.
So he never did play playoffs.
Foles took over.
But he did win a Super Bowl.
He did.
I would say he smelt playoffs.
Well, and
he didn't win MVP that year.
And had he not gotten hurt, he'd have won MVP. So does that still count to say he would have won MVP? I don't really know.
I mean, they were already in. He technically already made playoffs. He just didn't play in them because they definitely would have made playoffs. But yeah, that's a good point. So Wentz he doesn't have playoff experience. Though I do think, I think he could still drop some knowledge more than like a guy like Nick Mullins. Like the idea of Nick Mullins, you're going to learn from a backup quarterback. That's like me. Why would you, if you're going to want to learn, if you're going to want a guy who can be a mentor, why would you pick a guy that's been a backup quarterback his whole career? Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and like a Carson Wentz, if we do trade up Tate's guy at number 3, he'd have some insight on just dealing with that pressure of being a top pick, a quarterback who's supposed to save your franchise. And that's a whole nother part of it too. Cause like there's a lot of guys that come in, and it's like the fact that there's that immense amount of pressure that they're like the future of the team that hinders them a little bit. So at least like a Carson Wentz, who was a number 2 overall pick, would be able to have that conversation of just like, here's the mindset you got to have being such a high pick, you know?
Yeah. I think that's what it's all about, man. I think if you have a bridge quarterback, that's what you're worried about.
Physical.
Yeah, it's all about mentoring your rookie. So like that's why the Tyler Huntley thing throws me off a little bit. I'm like, what do you want here? Like you want a guy that can compete for the starting job with your rookie, or do you want the guy that can come in here and help your rookie become prepared better? Obviously, you have to have a willing quarterback to do that. Joe Flacco would be great for that. But that's the thing is like, I don't know, like don't learn like what's Nick Mullins going to teach him? Just not to throw so many interceptions. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Your bridge quarterback for sure should be someone that can teach him some lessons, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, Nick Mullins is just going to be the backup quarterback of this football team. Like if you don't feel like your rookie is ready, like is one snap away, Nick Mullins would be the guy that you're dressing as your number 2 while your rookie is the emergency quarterback. Like just because you keep Mullins and sign another quarterback isn't a bad thing, because Mullins still goes into the season as the primary backup. So
yeah,
you can have it all here, because I mean, a veteran stopgap plus Mullins ain't going to cost you too much, plus rookie quarterback. So
the art of sucking at quarterback. Yeah, that's what we need for our rookie. It's literally, it'd be like, if you got a guy like that, then it's just obvious. Like you're just here. So it's an easy jump for our rookie to become the starter, more than like, I don't know. I think that's what you want. Like if you have a rookie, that's why I think with Patrick Mahomes, like with all his talent and what we see from now, like who knows the kind of, and we've seen it with, again, Drew Bledsoe and with Tom Brady, and now Alex Smith with Patrick Mahomes. They sat for a year. Tom Brady. Well, that was a
little bit different. That was a little bit different because they had just paid Drew Bledsoe the absolute bag.
Yeah, it's
Brady was just a guy they took. Mahomes
right. Well, Tom Brady didn't get sat for a year. He didn't get sat for a year like that was the plan. Like Patrick Mahomes, but it was still the same thing. You had good veteran quarterbacks that knew how to play in the NFL, and who knows how much of an impact that was on these players. And obviously you see it with Brett Favre, with Aaron Rodgers. You see it with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Like I do think there's definitely a correlation with having a really good core. That's why I think Kirk Cousins would be great to have, but you're not going to pay that much money for a quarterback just to come in and be a mentor. Like that's what you're hoping for. That's what you want. That's why you drafted a rookie quarterback. As soon as you draft a rookie quarterback, your goals become winning when that guy is ready, more than it is winning right now with whoever your quarterback is.
Right. And obviously that Packer situation was a totally different ballgame, right? To where you drafted Jordan Love, but Aaron Rodgers was still playing MVP caliber football. So it definitely is kind of a different conversation there. So
yeah,
like, yes, Jordan Love was supposed to be the future of the franchise, and unfortunately he's looking like he might be, but Rodgers was still playing football like Aaron Rodgers does. Like there wasn't any immediate plans to move on there.
No. But it's just a mentor thing. It's just a mentor thing. Like having a great quarterback to learn from. Like if you watch, and you don't even have to learn them, just watching them, right? Like Jordan Love being able to see how Aaron Rodgers does everything and how he preps for games. Like he's prepping a game like he wants to win a championship, right? Like these guys are prepping different. Like you're not going to get that from Nick Mullins. Like what? That's crazy. There's no way you're keeping Nick Mullins around.
Now when they almost have you on the ground, find the biggest offensive lineman and throw it right at his belly.
Yeah.
He won't catch it. I promise. Defensive lineman throw it right at him.
And I like him, but man, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I think that's it. Joe Flacco. I didn't even think about him. I don't know what his deal is going to happen with the Browns or anything like that. I'm assuming he wouldn't really be staying around. They're committed to Watson and all that kind of stuff, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to get Flacco around just as a bridge quarterback, depending on who you take, of course, because it's different. Like you might want to win. I mean, if you get like a JJ McCarthy and you really are looking at him as like for sure sitting a year or whatever, I don't know. It's complicated, but I think your bridge quarterback should be someone that has real starting experience, at the very least, real starting experience. And if he has happened to play in the playoffs, if he's happened to be good and successful, that's even better because you're going to be able to learn. Yeah. And the proof is, like I said, Tom Brady with Bledsoe, Alex Smith with Patrick Mahomes. We already said it with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Like there's a bunch of like the greatest quarterbacks of all time are able to do that,
Yeah, for sure.
Book love for a darkness retreat. Yeah. And everybody should go on darkness retreats because then the only thing, unless you don't want an ACL tear, I guess.
Yeah. Right. But I don't know, man. Either way though, like every team, because like before, every team wants their Brady. Now it's turned to every team wants their Patrick Mahomes, right? And they do, and not a lot of teams have them. Like there's teams that have players that could be like Mahomes, but again, that's where we were talking about earlier, where those guys I think aren't in that elite status. I think they're borderline elite / great quarterbacks for sure. Like I would consider Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Justin Herbert probably kind of on that bottom border of.
You'd probably put.
Would you call Justin Herbert great, or would you call him very good but wanting to see more?
Yeah, that's what I would say because I do like what I see from Justin Herbert, but
he hasn't shown.
He hasn't shown enough. Like
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they have shown it that.
Yeah, and
in the regular season at least, when they need to get something done, they will get it done. Like
a lot of people would put Jalen Hurts in there, but now people have backpedaled on that. But I think Jalen Hurts is still going to be someone that puts his name in that conversation. Yeah. I mean, I'm not ready to, even though like I like what I see from Brock Purdy, but I'm not ready to like put Brock Purdy up in, some people will. I'm not ready to put him in that. I think Brock Purdy would be in the tier. I think he made Kirk Cousins tier. That's where I have to see Brock Purdy. Yeah,
I honestly,
think that's fair, and it could go up next year. It could go up.
I honestly would put him like. I mean, I might put him above just because he does have that. He doesn't have the arm. He doesn't have the arm talent, right? But he's got the headspace. He has mobility. He's smart enough to maneuver around the pocket. He makes good decisions. So I like him a lot, man. But yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott to me is not even in that borderline elite. He's
in the Kirk Cousins tier.
I think yeah. I like the top of it. I would think Dak.
The top of the Kirk
but Dak again, he's a guy you want to talk about. He's who was it? Who was it? Amari Cooper, Black Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's not wrong. Regular season, he puts up the numbers and get him into the playoffs. He lays an egg. Like it's just kind of the way it works.
Right. It just is what it is.
But I think it's unfair to put any other quarterback. I mean, if you're gonna say there's 3 elite quarterbacks, then you got to take Mahomes out of that tier because I think it's unfair to put Patrick Mahomes in a tier with some other guys that haven't gotten to the Super Bowl yet.
Yeah, no, I think it's Patrick Mahomes as elite, and the other guys. I mean, it's just different because there's like a very elite one. Like, let's say if Patrick Mahomes, but that's the thing. Like, there's no, like we've talked about this earlier, though. There's no like Peyton Manning to Tom Brady. Like, it's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. If you want to say elite, like maybe Patrick Mahomes is like super elite, and then under him is like elite. But otherwise, like I think I agree with you. Like there isn't an elite another like a really elite quarterback other than Patrick Mahomes. No one's that stepped up yet. Joe Burrow seemed like he was on his way before
He's a
this
slow
year.
starter. He's a slow starter. The last 2 years, he's been a slow starter.
He still has to prove a lot. Now you kind of think like, all right, who'd be the guy? If Patrick Mahomes wasn't here, who'd be the guy? Or who, like, it would be just a fight between those other guys. And I don't know which one would. It's not an obvious choice on which one would be the guy to win a bunch of Super Bowls. Right now, Brock Purdy has the most potential, just because like you said, he might have went to the Super Bowl last year if he didn't get injured, and he just went to the Super Bowl and played solid this year.
Yeah, Joe Burrow look injury. At this point, yeah, ACL tear, hand injury, but when the guy is on, he is on, right?
Yeah, and I think they're really good, and he could definitely enter that space for sure, potentially.
Yeah, and then and Lamar Jackson, he can do so much, but he made that's the thing. He made it to the AFC Championship game. You have to give him credit for that. 2 MVPs, absolutely, but I don't know, man. He shrunk in the title game when he needed to step up, and I don't know. That's why I don't put him up there with the elites. Josh Allen, same thing. He's never made it past the divisional round. No, he played in the AFC Championship game one time. He lost to the Chiefs. But for the most part, it's just, and I don't blame him as much as I just blame something else. Just seems wrong with that team right now. Right. Stephon Diggs he threw an absolute dime to Stephon Diggs, and Diggs just dropped it. So they should have won that game. But as people do, it goes back to looking at quarterbacks when they just can't find a way to win, right? So I don't know. That's why I don't consider regular season elite, borderline elite, sure. But those guys, Josh Allen gets to a Super Bowl, sure, you can put him up there. But until now, I just don't think it's not fair to put anybody up there next to Mahomes. But is it though? Josh Allen is made questionable decisions. Patrick Mahomes doesn't make those decisions.
Yeah. There's a big difference. Patrick Mahomes makes the playoffs, and he had his first interception throughout the entire playoffs. And Josh Allen has games where he throws 4 or 5 picks. I like Josh Allen, but I do not think I like Andy. Yeah. I like Andy Reid a lot, but Andy Reid isn't the one out there when the game's on the line and Patrick Mahomes runs for a first down.
Right. I think it was a really good spot because Andy Reid's an offensive genius. It was a really good spot for Mahomes, that was a really good. Well, that first down was really good play call.
Well,
yeah. But I just think Mahomes was definitely benefited by going to an Andy Reid led team and sitting behind a guy like Alex Smith, who is a pro.
Right.
He knows how to,
who knows how much those things impact a quarterback's development,
but
and probably a lot.
Mahomes is all up here. He has it. Where Josh Allen, I don't think he has it. Joe Burrow, I think Joe Burrow has it, but a bad offensive line, like Mateo said, but he doesn't have that he doesn't have that elite athleticism like Mahomes does.
That's the thing too, because everyone always wants to say Andy Reid. Well, Andy Reid didn't win a Super Bowl until he had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback too.
Right. It's a good pairing for sure. But
yeah, I love the pairing, and I love Andy Reid. But to say Andy Reid made Patrick Mahomes when Andy Reid coached for years, he's made the Super Bowl before as a head coach. But he's won 3 head coaches when he has Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. Who's helping who here? Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Who's helping who here? Tom Brady leaves and goes win a Super Bowl with somebody else.
Yeah.
So I love the coach thing, but I don't think coaches I do think they make a huge impact on a quarterback and the player, but I do think you have to give the quarterback more credit than Andy Reid being the reason why Mahomes succeeded.
Well, right, and it's all
just avoiding paying change. So just avoid paying JJ. We paying JJ, but we can't pay Kirk Cousins.
Allen not elite. What is he? Yeah, exactly. He has. Yeah, I don't know, man. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. It's fair to say a GOAT class and then an elite. I guess you could say an elite class. But that's where would you put Peyton Manning? Peyton Manning would be GOAT class. Aaron Rodgers, so that'd be another one. Aaron Rodgers, would you put him GOAT class? There's no one out here like prime Aaron Rodgers under Mahomes. No. Or no Peyton Manning, no Aaron Rodgers. Some people could even argue no Drew Brees even. Right now, no one stepped up. Josh Allen, I just feel like Josh Allen, he had some really bad games this regular season.
And last regular season, he's had some rough games.
He looks solid in playoffs.
He makes some bonehead decisions. And they're even talking about that. How
only Burrow and
how the goal of their offense was to try to like kind of rein in some of those decisions by Josh Allen. Like that's what they were doing this last season. They're trying to like not let him scramble around so much, just for A, injury purposes, and B, just so it kind of limits some of the bad mistakes. But Burrow, I think Burrow is right up there, but he has to prove it more. Like he's a slow starter. The last 2 years he started 0-2. This last year he got hurt. The year before he ended up making a run through the playoffs, making it to the championship game, ended up losing. But like I really like Joe, because Joe Burrow, if you want to talk about the people that have it mentally, like that killer instinct, Joe Burrow has that. Like Joe Burrow has that confident killer instinct like Patrick Mahomes does without the athleticism, where Josh Allen, I don't think Josh has that. But again, I'm not putting Burrow up there at elite yet, because he has to prove it all season long and like get to the playoffs and make Super Bowls consistently like Mahomes has.
Yeah.
Josh, again, I'm just saying it's unfair to put Burrow in the yes, he's beaten Mahomes one time to make it to the Super Bowl. I just think it's unfair to put Burrow's name up there with Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, if you told me who's better who I'd rather have a quarterback between Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, and like a healthy Joe Burrow, I'm going Joe Burrow, dude. I'm going with the guy who's going to step up in the biggest moments of the games. Like Josh Allen has all the physical abilities that you want, but he does not always step up in the biggest moments, and he makes a lot of bad decisions, which I still think he's really good. But Joe Burrow is, like you said, like he's been to a Super Bowl. That was his second year in the NFL. I think, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Mindset matters, dude. The mindset really matters. It's the difference between a championship quarterback and one that's like a GOAT level, if that's what we want to say, or elite. It's the mind, dude.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, he has elite talent, but he has elite talent. So what? Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow is absolutely him.
I mean, Josh, it'll be interesting. I like it. I like Allen, but I don't know. He still has a lot to show to me too, as far as like going up into a category with Patrick Mahomes.
Burrow definitely got what's their coach's name? Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow definitely got Zach Taylor extended. That's for sure. Yeah, and Joe Burrow, bad offensive line, like that obviously led to the knee injury. Like when he's healthy, man, he's something.
Josh Allen looked pretty good, and I mean they didn't lose because of him. He looked pretty good in these playoffs. I'll give him that. But other playoff games was not always the best. And I don't know.
Again, they win if Diggs catches that dime he dropped in there. And again, I blame it more on just something with that team. It's just something with that team just feels stale, right? And they're just going to keep running it back. But like, I really like Josh Allen, which again is why I would put Josh Allen in that next tier down with, like, I think you got him, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Like, I think those three are in that next tier here.
And then Justin Herbert might be at the bottom of that tier.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Jalen Hurts. I mean, some people might have him right at even the bottom of that, or like at the top of the
next one.
Yeah. I mean, they would have had him other than the whatever happened at the end of this last season. You know, he would have been up there. It was just obviously whatever happened at the end of the season was terrible.
Yeah. Peyton Manning is not GOAT. I'd put Burrow and Allen in the same tier as Peyton, like Manning running the Patriots. Okay.
I'm not ready to do that. I mean,
it's an interesting.
I can't do it.
Manning, it's funny. Manning was like one of the best regular season quarterbacks, but when it came to playoffs, he wasn't. He won a Super Bowl, sure, but when it came to playoffs, he wasn't like he won 2 Super Bowls, so it's hard to say he wasn't that great. But I don't know.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I would take Allen in a heartbeat. I think he's definitely good. I mean, he could maybe win a Super Bowl, but it's obvious. He's not up there with Patrick Mahomes. I just don't even. I've seen enough games with Josh Allen where he has made mistakes towards the ends of games. Maybe not this year in playoffs, but I'm trying to think of there was one example. I think it was in the regular season that I saw. But obviously, another good example is the Vikings versus Josh Allen last season. Fumbling the ball.
Two bad,
horrible decisions by Josh Allen. I mean, that game alone, like Patrick Mahomes never does that.
Right.
I mean, there's a bunch of Josh Allen is literally known for having some of the ugliest losses just because they shouldn't have lost, and all of a sudden he fumbles the ball or something like that.
Yeah. And then Lamar Jackson needing points, and he throws an interception into triple coverage in the back of the end zone in the AFC title game. Like, those are the mistakes that Patrick Mahomes, you don't see him make.
No. Like, the guy steps up it's playoffs time, and now he plays
Right.
his
And
absolute best football.
and we're not out here
It was a
trying to
bad
say
interception though in the
right.
Super Bowl, but
Yeah. And we're not out here trying to say these guys aren't like great, could eventually be elite quarterbacks. We're just out here saying it's unfair to put them in the same tier as Mahomes. And honestly, I think they need to show us a little bit more. Like Joe Burrow needs to show us more, like early, like I said, slow starter. He puts their team gets put in some bad spots early on, and then Mahomes or Josh Allen is just too inconsistent throughout the season. So Mahomes is just always good, and when he's not good, you can literally blame the rest of his team for not keeping up with him. Like against the Eagles, he drops that dime to MBS, and MBS drops it. Like it's insane.
Yeah, Peyton was really good, but not Brady. Mahomes. No, Peyton wasn't. No. I would definitely put them above. Like they're in their own tier. Like maybe someone put Joe Montana in there, but yeah, I would put Peyton Manning around like Aaron Rodgers. Like there's John Elway, even though I didn't actually get to see him, so I'm just taking even with Joe Montana, I'm just taking other people's opinions because I didn't actually get to watch him myself really.
I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with a lot of that. I think even our offense, I want to see more from Lamar Jackson in some areas, but you give Lamar Jackson our offense, that's one thing is Lamar Jackson has asked for wide receivers. You got a guy who's like 5'10", first round rookies, by far your best wide receiver, and your best catcher, Mark Andrews, even though Casey likes himself some. What's his name?
I do like Isaiah Likely.
Isaiah Likely, but still, like out of all these guys, Lamar Jackson has like by far the least amount of talent to work with, and he won MVP this year.
That's true, yeah. But again, MVP regular season award. Show me in the playoffs, Lamar. Show me in the playoffs, man. He made an AFC title game. You got to give him credit for that. Like, and I thought this was probably the most consistent year of Lamar Jackson's career from a throwing and running perspective.
He definitely proved doubters wrong. He definitely proved doubters wrong.
Absolutely. Like get him Zay Flowers. We'll see how long Zay Flowers is playing there, but get him Zay Flowers, and it really did get him a good receiver, and it did kind of turn it around for him. But again, I'm not putting him up there with Patrick Mahomes right now. Like, I'm definitely
not putting any of them. I'm not putting any of those guys up there. Go of quarterback name Joe Montana. Go. That is a pretty sick name. I'm not putting any of the quarterbacks out here up there with Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers though. Like I'm not. Josh Allen and all, like they have not deserved that yet. First off, both those quarterbacks have Super Bowls by itself, and Peyton Manning has a Super Bowl while Tom Brady was in the league.
Yeah,
has two Super Bowls, even though the second Super Bowl was definitely more of a team effort than a Peyton Manning effort. But the Colts, his one with the Colts was definitely Peyton Manning, So I want to say that. Should we mock?
I don't know. Should we?
We could do a quick mock. So again, everybody, we'll do a quick mock and then we'll probably hop off here. Again, everybody in here, Ivan Pace rookie cards. You have to be here to win. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Get all that good stuff. The woman, I didn't say the Zay Flower stuff is BS. The woman is his ex who has a history of abuse. That's why the case has already been thrown out. I didn't look into that, but I saw that. All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
You want to bring it up? Or you want me to?
I'll let you do it. You like to do it. You don't, or you don't like the way I do it, so I'll let you.
What do you mean? How do you do it?
I don't know. I don't know how I do it, but it's in a way that you don't like. No, you're good. Hey, what up, Sam? What up?
What are we doing? 3-round?
Yeah, let's just do a 3.
Lower up a bit. Pick with 11. Enter draft. All right.
Again, everybody, check this video out. We worked hard on it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it big time. Go over there and like it. Watch through it if you can.
All right. So are we just waiting till pick 11, or what are we doing here?
Let's go down to pick 4. So we'll see if there's a quarterback there. Well, so what do we want to do here, everybody? We trying to trade up, or you just chill? Are we gonna chill here? Do 2 or 4. Don't have a third. Do 2 or 4. Don't have it. Yeah.
See, my goal, if they can do it, is trade next year's picks, because I still want to draft in the second round this year.
Appreciate you, Skull Mafia.
Appreciate that, man. Absolutely.
Let's go, Norris. Hey, we worked really hard on it. Like we put in some real editing. It's a chance for us to kind of learn how to make videos like that, and that's why we put so much effort and tried new things in it. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm plugging it so hard because we put so much time.
Absolutely.
But anyways,
and speaking of videos, we actually did one where we traded back a couple of times, and we got a bunch of picks. It actually turned out really, really well.
Yeah,
but let's say F it and let's be aggressive. Let's be aggressive today.
All right.
So let's see. We'll give them a first rounder next year. What?
Ooh.
Okay, that can't be legit.
Should we be real? Should we be real?
I say let's just toss him a second rounder next year.
All right, we're gonna be real here, because obviously we're not moving up, and we don't need these picks anyways.
Yeah, I don't think 2 firsts gets it. I don't think just 2 firsts on their own gets it done. So
thanks, you guys. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna say we toss in a second rounder just to make it a little more legit. Wait, what? Did I not make the trade?
Hey, well, we're still good.
I guess I hit resume draft. No, the Giants are definitely taking him at 6.
Yeah, I know. We got to make this trade up.
They ain't trading us pick 11. What did I do? I didn't hit offer trade. Okay, well, we'll give him a second rounder next year. There you go. Take it. We're going quarterback. We're going Jaden Daniels.
Let's go, Jaden Daniels, the future Viking. God, he would take.
And then we're taking top, bro. We're taking top defensive tackle available at pick 42. So be ready for that. I like it. I like it a lot.
Let's go.
Daniels, yeah, that is a good point with Daniels as well.
Dude, I think his passing so underrated. Anybody that just calls him a running quarterback is instantly I call instant bullshit that they didn't watch any of his tape.
All right. Why are the Packers taking Michael Penix? A little bit confused, but
hey, dang, let's go. They're not feeling Jordan Love. I don't blame them.
What are we looking at here? Looking at defensive interior. I like Devondre Sweat. He's there.
Yeah. What's that trade looking like?
Dropping down to pick 56. I ain't about that.
I think you could do it, bro.
You think?
Let's see. What's average draft?
87.
What's the average draft for? Yeah. What's the average draft?
I think he was like 58 or something, which would put us like right there. Trade him that.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's stop at 50. Stop at like 52.
Okay.
And we'll just go trade back up for him.
JJ McCarthy going to the Raiders. That makes sense.
Come on. Right here. All right, let's trade up. 52.
You think? Give him 56 and 108 if we're not picking there?
Wait, no. Go lower. Get the best possible deal here. Keep going.
Jesus.
Keep going. There we go. I mean, it's only moving up 4 picks.
That's true. All right.
There we go.
Defensive interior.
There we go.
Andre Sweat.
And we get our guy. And we got a 3rd round pick.
And
that's why we do 3-round. That's why we do 3-round mock drafts, Dan.
I
got him.
We probably bump it up.
We got him. We're hitting this. This year's MVP was weak.
That's very good. It was. That's a really good point.
Jaden Daniels is pure electric, plug and play, dude. I'm hoping our hopes are getting really high, man. That's why if the Vikings go, I'm telling you right now, if the Vikings go into the draft without being in the top 3, it's just not happening. I think if we get Jaden Daniels, we'll know it's happening before the draft because we've already traded up. That's my guess, anyways, unless New England goes in there wanting to just, trade at the heat of the moment. But
all right, what are we feeling here? Edge rusher, we got running back, Trey Benson.
Defensive back, that James guy looks solid. What does the chat think? Who you guys liking around this pick?
Draft Aaron Rodgers.
Cam Harder running back.
Is Cam Harder's at corner? Am I getting that right? Probably not. I don't know enough about these people yet. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh, you like Cam Hart? He's down there, though. He's too far down.
Edge rusher.
Edge.
Well, yeah, what are we looking at? We
got a lot of edges. Right. We got a lot of edges here.
I mean, ooh.
Ooh, pass rush 90.9. 17 sacks.
How's he looking size-wise? 6'2", 245?
What school is this?
Temple, I think.
Okay.
I say F it.
I like this guy.
Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Boom. Dude, let's go.
You know what?
This is a draft and a half.
I want to get back into the party here.
Oh, damn. We ain't done yet.
Let's go. Let's get back in. I don't know who we're taking here. I just wanted to get back in.
We like this Cooper. We actually do like this Cooper Beebe guy. He just looks like he looks like a mauler. He does look like a mauler.
F it. We're going guard. I don't care what anybody else says.
Let's see what they gave us.
Troy, not Temple. Sorry, you're right. That's Troy. My bad. I like it.
Hey, we got that A.
A trade. Getting Jane Daniels A, C+ trade to get a B. I mean, I like Javon Sweat a lot.
Oh yeah, that's easily worth it. Javon Sullivan. Let's go.
All right, Quasi, we're coming for your job if you fuck this year
up.
That's
what I've been telling him. That's what I'd be telling that dude. I'd for sure be trading up. I'd have a job for either a 10-year career or like 1 year. Like if you go in GM and you just like, know what, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do whatever I can to just go and trade up for a quarterback, and either I have a long career or it's short, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's all I would do is only look at the quarterback. Gamble. That's all I would do. But anyways, yes, let's do it. Obviously, you got to be here to win. 2 Ivan Pace rookie cards, giving them away. It's the Ivan Pace week for us. These are my last 2. I'll have to look for some more after this because I do.
18 entries. Wow, people are going on.
You got to be here to win, though. Got to be here to win. 18 entries, 16 concurrent viewers, 16 viewers, whatever. All right, let's give this away. So far, Gary's won the last 2 in a row, and probably the last like 5 out of the last 6 or 7. So dude's on an absolute heater right now. So let's see what happens here. All right, Pace Gang. Again, everybody, go watch the Ivan Pace video that we made. We put in the work on that one. But anyways, 3, 2, 1, boom. Who we got tonight? Got to be here to win. Y'all already know. Y'all already do know. And we've got boom, 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 boom. Sodak.
All right. Is he still here?
I don't know if Sodak's still here. I haven't seen him in a minute. We'll give Sodak a minute. I mean, obviously, I'm running 2 either way, so we don't have to wait too long. Oh, there he is. What up, Sodak?
All right, good deal.
Let's go. Sodak with an Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card. Let's go. Let's run it back. Who we got? Let's go. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, we got catch up. I keep forgetting that the chat is like slightly behind us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. Is that your first? That's your first win, Sodak, or did someone give you a card or something? Let's go. You got a good one though. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 2 times. Who we got? Boom, 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 boom. Holy crap.
Oh, Gary, what?
Gary's got this rigged.
He is on an absolute heater.
Bro, I think they know Gary's always the first one in here. He watches all our shows. I think it knows. It's definitely not me. I think StreamYard knows. They're picking Gary.
That's what happened. Okay. Yeah, Mateo gave his card to Sodak. That's what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah. Let's go, Gary. Gary has 3 cards coming.
He just might.
That's crazy, Gary. You just can't stop winning. He can't stop winning.
Rigged.
And Sodak, congratulations.
Oh, goodness.
He's on a heater. Absolute
heater, man. But anyway, well, Super Bowl's over. The 2023 season officially in the books. And now we have
off season.
One of the biggest off seasons in recent memory, and it's about to get crazy. And there's a lot of rumors floating around out there. I don't know what to believe. I don't think I believe any of it. It's way too early to believe any rumor here. Every option is still on the table.
It's making up for other things. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Gary, hope all is good, bro. Hope all is good over there. Yeah, dude. It starts. I mean, as far as like we can actually look like all this other stuff is like as smoke screen as possible. But now you can kind of look closer to the Kirk Cousins things. The Kirk Cousins thing is going to have to be the first thing off the board. I think we're going to hear some real in the next couple weeks, some like actual news of what that is going to look like. I know, what is it? What is free agency or like signing players and stuff?
The 13th, I think.
13th of March.
I believe so. Yeah.
Something like that. So we got some time here. Obviously the combine, which I'm looking forward to big time because I like JJ McCarthy obviously has become huge for Vikings fans and huge on Twitter, all that stuff. I think watching him throw and how he presents himself, I think there's a good chance you see him definitely rising. But hopefully Jaden Daniels throws. I'm really hoping he throws. And obviously, you probably aren't going to see Caleb Williams do anything. I wouldn't even be surprised if you see Drake May. Drake May seems like someone that will come in and throw, though, anyways. Caleb Williams kind of comes off as a guy that isn't going to do anything other than who no one even cares because his interviews
nail those interviews, man.
Yeah, his interviews is going to be what's most important for him. Like, no one even cares if he throws. I just want to see how he interviews.
Hey, we appreciate that, Barber. We'd really appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you guys. But anyways, again, Casey, I believe, is going solo. Casey's going solo on Wednesday.
Any of you guys who don't have a Valentine's Day date, come hang out with me.
Yep. Casey's going to be the Valentine's Day for next Wednesday. Again, the following Monday, we won't have a show unless he did decide to go again solo, but I'll be gone. I'll be on vacation. So, we might not have a show then. And then I think the Wednesday they probably will. So all that good stuff. But yeah, so you guys won't see me for a minute here. And that's why we work so hard to get these videos out. So
absolutely
appreciate y'all being in here.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see some of you Wednesday, hopefully.
Let's go Vikes.